The opening weekend numbers are in, and by any definition, the new Star Trek Into Darkness is a hit. The film made just over $70 million domestically on its opening weekend, with a total of $84 million. When counting its Thursday opening numbers, which makes it almost even with the opening weekend numbers for last Star Trek movie in 2009. This makes Star Trek the third highest opening weekend box office of 2013, behind number 1, Iron Man 3, and number 2, Oz the Great and Powerful. John, how happy should Paramount be with the opening for Star Trek Into Darkness?
Not very. I mean, they should be. I think the better word for how Paramount should feel about its opening is relieved. Because this obviously, it didn't bomb. Mm-hmm. But it didn't meet expectations. Here's the thing. Star Trek Into Darkness is a great movie. It's a great movie. It's so much fun. It's entertaining. It's wild. It's a thrill ride. It's great. The first one was also great, had a lot of momentum, should have done a lot more, but it didn't. It came in actually just a little bit behind, just barely behind what the original Star Trek film did. By original, I mean the 2009 film. And here's the thing, it's going to get crushed next weekend at the box office. Because think about this, the first Star Trek film that J.J. Abrams did, it opened it's opened one week, and then its following week, it had to contend with Angels and Demons, which is not actually a huge blockbuster juggernaut. The following week after that, Night at the Museum 2, also not a huge blockbuster juggernaut. That's what it had to deal with. You know what this Star Trek has to deal with this week? Fast and the Furious 6 and The Hangover Part 3.
Yeah.
So its box office is going to take a dive. Now listen, this film made 3, as great of a movie as it is, and it deserved to do better, but Paramount made 3 critical mistakes with this Star Trek Into Darkness that I think would have allowed it to have done a lot better on its opening weekend than it did. The first critical mistake they made was they did not promote the cast of the film. Zachary Quinto, it's been 4 years since the last Star Trek movie. Why has Paramount not put him in something to kind of increase his profile to help the next Star Trek movie? Christopher Pine has not done a lot of films in the last 4 years. I mean, yeah, he's done stuff like People Like Us, which was a nice little film.
This Means War.
He did This Means War. Wah, wah. But like, he literally had the time to shoot about 8 films. Why did Paramount not put him in something a little bit more high profile to increase his profile for the next film? They completely underutilized and ignored this cast instead of promoting him. The second big mistake they made with this is that they waited 4 years to make it. I said from day one, you have to strike while the iron is hot. They should have come out with another Star Trek film in 2011, at the latest 2012. And then some people sit around and say, oh, no, it's better to take your time and do it right. How long do you think it takes to write a script? Joss Whedon banged out the script for Cabin in the Woods in a weekend. He talks about how him and his buddy went away for the weekend, wrote the script for Cabin in the Woods. Now, I'm not saying every film can be written.
He's Joss Whedon.
Not everybody is Joss Whedon. Not everybody can bang out a script in 2 or 3 days. But I'm sorry, it doesn't take 2 years. And look, as much as I love Star Trek Into Darkness, this wasn't the Shakespeare of scripts. I mean, it's not like the script was this huge masterpiece that was carefully crafted over 2 years. This film should have come out a lot earlier. They waited 4 years. It lost some of its momentum. It could have done better if it came out earlier. But the third biggest mistake they made with this, and this isn't a teaser or a spoiler anymore because this is public knowledge. It's listed on IMDb. Let's make Khan a secret. Let's make it a secret. Why would you use Khan? You use Khan in the first place because he is the single best villain that Star Trek has ever had, and you're going to hide the fact that he's there. That it was one of the most stupid moves they could have possibly made. They should have been trumpeting this. They should have been making this a big deal in the marketing. They should have been capitalizing on the popularity of the character. But no, let's do what Cloverfield did and not show the monster. No! That was a ridiculous move. Look, I'm not saying give away everything about a movie in marketing. I'm not saying that. But if you're putting Khan in it, tell people you're putting Khan in it. And I think these 3 things equal to, I'm sorry, I think this has to be looked at as big as these numbers are, I think this has to be looked at as a slightly disappointing result for Paramount and Star Trek Into Darkness, because this film deserved better because it is a really good, fun film. You should run out and see it. Amy Rose, your thoughts. Should we be happy about these results, or is this too low, or do you think it exceeded expectations?
Well, Paramount was predicting $100 million. So right there already it proves that it's below. Now, naturally, studios are hopeful, and I think this is just another reminder that I think this geek world that I'm such a part of and love is a lot larger than it is, because Star Trek is a niche audience. Sure, Chris Pine and Zoe Saldana and all these actors are hot, and J.J. Abrams, but again, it is still a little more niche opposed to Star Wars, where it really brings a lot more generations in. So I do think that, you know, it's not a failure by any means. It made solid money, but I did kind of anticipate it to be a larger opening as well. And on the con point, I mean, how excited were we when we saw that, you know, magazine, who was it, Entertainment Weekly or whatever?
Yeah, EW.
And it like said it was con, and then they took it down real quick, and that is the momentum they should have really built on, because we were so excited about that. We're like, well, it's not confirmed yet, but we both from day one were like, it's con, it's con, it's con. And if they really were smart with the whole misdirection and trying to throw us off their scent, they really could have capitalized on that, but instead they just kind of let it die down, and then the big reveal was in the film, and by that point we're like, yeah, we know. So I think that they didn't play that right. The marketing campaign I thought was fine. I mean, they released a lot of character posters, and I thought, you know, it was pretty great. But I do agree that 4 years is kind of a long time for a film like this, and I really, really liked it. I think the diehard fans were a little more, I don't know, difficult to please on this one, but overall I think it was a great film, and this just reconfirmed all my hopes that JJ is going to do a great job with Star Wars. I think he's going to do great with the property.
Agreed.
Hey guys, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and will keep you up to date on all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to find out about our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.